right now in the beginning of a climate and ecological crisis.
And we need to call it what it is, an
Emergency!
We must acknowledge that we do not have the situation under control.
And that we don't have all the solutions yet.
Unless those solutions mean that we simply stop doing certain things.
We must admit that we are losing this battle. We have to acknowledge the older generations have failed.
All political movements in their present form have failed, but Homo sapiens have not yet failed.
Homo sapiens have not yet failed.
Yes, we are failing, but there is still time to turn everything around.
We can still fix this. We still have everything in our own hands.
But unless we recognize the overall failures of our current systems, we most probably won't stand a chance.
We are facing a disaster of unspoken sufferings for enormous amounts of people.
And now is not the time for speaking politely or focusing on what we can or cannot say.
Now is the time to speak clearly.
Solving the climate crisis is the greatest and most complex challenge that Homo sapiens have ever faced.
The main solution, however, is so simple that even a small child can understand it.
We have to stop our emissions of greenhouse gases, and either we do that or we don't.
You say that nothing in life is black or white, but what is a lie? A very dangerous lie.
Either we prevent a 1.5 degree of warming, or we don't.
Either we avoid setting off that irreversible chain reaction beyond human control, or we don't.
Either we choose to go on as our civilization, or we don't.
That is as black or white as it gets, because there are no gray areas when it comes to survival.
Now we all have a choice.
Now we all have a choice.
We can create transformational actions that will safeguard the living conditions for future generations.
Or we can continue with our business as usual and fail. That is up to you and me.
And yes, we need a system change rather than individual change, but you cannot have one without the other.
If you look through history, all the big changes in society have been started by people at the grassroots level.
People like you and me.
So I ask you to please wake up and make these changes that are required.
To do your best is no longer good enough. We must all do the seemingly impossible.
Today we use about 100 million barrels of oil every single day.
There are no politics to change that. There are no rules to keep that oil in the ground.
So we can no longer save the world by playing by the rules, because the rules have to be changed.
Everything needs to change, and it has to start today.
So everyone out there, it's now time for civil disobedience. It's time to rebel.
Time to rebel. It's time to rebel. It's time to rebel. Everybody, time to rebel. 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 Time to resist. Time to resist. Time to resist. Time to resist. Woo!
Hi everybody, my name is Elsie DeGrano, and like Sarah said, I am the intern through the summer with C10. This opportunity has led me to learn so much about what it's like to apply my knowledge into a work environment. And the two things that I focus on mostly are producing more social media content as well as analyzing their historical radiation data. So like Sarah said, they have 20 probes, and that minute-by-minute data has gone back, depending on how old the sites are, all the way back to around 1980. So my job is to analyze those minute-by-minute sections and put them into a spreadsheet for something that we can analyze. And the point of that is to see how much time any of those probes have been down for, and any of that downtime could be used to say, okay, how are we going to be able to update these probes and make them more useful and make sure that we have less downtime every year. Furthermore, also that historical data is really important for organizations that are also interested in helping the public safety in the 10-mile radius. So when that data is organized, we can also send that data out to organizations that are also interested. And with the social media content, it's really important to raise awareness and spreading all of the knowledge to anybody who is interested. So organizing their social media has really taught me on the organization's goals and how to expand the reach to people who might be interested. So thank you everybody so much.
For a better day, with one whole world of freedom, every kingdom and race, and they pray. For a better day, with one whole world of freedom, every kingdom and race. For teaching once was told of God's love upon the world. All are God's children, from sparrows to squirrels, and they live and play together in that garden of life, planting seeds of trees and singing songs of life. And God's love shone within them, from the big to the small, equally in favor, one love for all. And they pray for a better day, with one whole world of freedom, every kingdom and race. And they pray for a better day, with one whole world of freedom, every kingdom and race.
That one of the things that we talk about in that world is the concept of community. As we think about how to talk about the natural world and the damage we've done to it, one word made sense to me, and it was something called vivitocracy. And the idea is that in the face of disaster, the people that you turn to first are your neighbors. And as we really are at a moment in the nation's history where we seem to be rolling back a lot of our goals for a more equitable and healthier planet, today makes me realize that this doesn't have to be true. You know, we are a vivitocracy. We are a community that turns to one another on a daily basis to provide sustainable growth, to help each other out, to be good neighbors. Ben was just telling me all about the great things that he is doing, from helping seniors compost to helping our Interact members find meaningful work in their volunteerism at a very young age. So I don't really want to say too much, but I just think that today is a good day to be reminded that the way that we get through whatever is coming at us is by being a good neighbor. It's around organizing for the goals that we want to see happen, particularly around the environment. And maybe it's about disengaging a little bit from our daily grind of media and reading a great book. So I just want to thank all of the organizations that are out here today doing the hard work of organizing, of being a good steward of the environment. At the state level, we continue to work to meet our very ambitious carbonization goals. And I've been a leader in salt marsh restoration, flood resilience, and I hope to engage all of you in those conversations as we go forward to build a more resilient First Essex district. So thank you so much, and enjoy the first real day of spring.
I want to say, don't be afraid to wake up. We need you to wake up. There are many factions in our country now that want you not to wake up. They're going to blame you for waking up. They want to call it woke. But we need to take that word back. We need to wake up and not be ashamed of waking up. It's essential that that happen now. Whether you're here for Earth Day, Easter, or 420, we all need our consciousness to rise. But not in the way as Katy Perry and the girl power spaceflight did. They were acting out of ignorance to do that, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about why. Did you know that flights into space, as well as high flights in airliners, may be a factor, maybe an important factor, an unrecognized factor in the increase in storm intensity and frequency across the world right now that is contributing to a more dangerous Earth for all humanity. NASA scientist Jim Hansen, who was one of the first scientists to say that we were going to see a global warming trend, he was talking 40 some odd years ago when he first pointed that out, has discovered in the last 5 years that there is a region in the high upper atmosphere that should be dry as a desert that is full of humidity. And he believes that that humidity is contributing to this increase in storm intensity and frequency. And it's important that we understand that when we shoot a rocket into space or when we put airliners in the high atmosphere, one of the things that they're dumping into the air, the thin air, is warm water in the form of vapor, lots of it. And that's been going on now since the dawn of the jet age and the dawn of rocketry. So that's a theory, not a proven theory, but it's a strong possibility that with every shot of a rocket into space, you know, and these billionaires want to start the space tourism industry, we may actually be making matters much worse down here on Earth for the rest of us. So we want to maybe put a stop to that. Let's ask the celebrities and the billionaires to cut it out for a little while until we figure out what we need to do to prevent the Earth from becoming a place that is not habitable easily for human beings. As far as the immediate, here in the state of Massachusetts, for those of you that are looking for something to do, I got a great idea. You may not know that 60 miles or so, 70 miles south of us, there was a nuclear plant that closed down in the last 10 years called Pilgrim down in Plymouth, Massachusetts, that has been undergoing decommissioning for the last couple of years. And the owners of that plant have been dumping into the air and the water of the state of Massachusetts levels of radioactivity in violation of Massachusetts state law, the Ocean Sanctuaries Act. When they undertook this decommissioning process, they promised that they would adhere to all Massachusetts state laws, and for the last 2 or 3 years, they've been directly in violation of those laws. Furthermore, our Attorney General, whose name is Andrea Campbell, and our Governor, Maura Healey, the two of them together have done nothing so far to stop the dumping of radioactive water into Cape Cod Bay and into the air around the Plymouth plant. The reason that that's important to me is because whatever we allow to happen down there during their decommissioning will eventually happen not only here near the Seabrook plant, but all over the country. And the time for this to stop is now. So if you'd like to do something for Earth Day, I would encourage you to contact the governor's office and the attorney general's office and tell them that they need to honor Massachusetts state law and enforce the prohibition of the release of radiation into the air and water of the state of Massachusetts. And best of luck to all of us. Thank you for the time.
Before the earth beneath our feet was called Newburyport, before there was a Commonwealth of Massachusetts, before there was a Plum Island, Water Street, and Parker River, generations of Pennacook and Agawam people, Algonquin-speaking tribes of the Wabanaki Confederacy, belonged to this land and considered it their home. Today we give thanks for their care and stewardship of this land. We acknowledge that we are on unceded traditional homelands of the Abenaki, Pennacook, Agawam, and Wabanaki peoples, past and present. We acknowledge with gratitude the Aki, the land, the Nabi, the water, Alawakikak, the flora, Abasak, fauna, and the Onambak, the people, who have stewarded Indakana for many millennia.
Waters, this land was made for you and me. That's everybody. All the immigrants, all the indigenous peoples whose lands we are on. We salute you all. You are all welcome here.
This land is
Your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters.
Yeah,
This land was made for you and me.
yeah, this land was
Made for you and me.
Well, this
Land was made for you and me. Yeah, thank you. This land was made for you and me. Nobody is illegal on stolen lands.